Hello all you happy people, this is the Rock Shifter, and can you guess what we're about to do? That's right, we're about to give my final thoughts on MegaMan Legends. So, MegaMan Legends, I said this at the very beginning, is my favorite Mega Man game. It's not my favorite game that's like tied between like a bunch of series, but it is very up there, and I have to say I am saying this because it is very nostalgic to me. It was the second Mega Man game I ever owned. The first being Mega Man X4. Yeah, I started a little late. But eventually I played all the Mega Man games out there, so yeah. But I guess I can't talk about my nostalgic feelings towards it unless I talk about the actual game itself. So let's start with the story. I said this at the very end. The story is a very awkward story. I mean, okay, so we're basically following these characters, Mega Man, Roll, Professor, and it's just, I understand that they're looking for the Mother Lode, but at the end they talk about how they're looking for Roll's parents, and that, I mean, it doesn't come up till the very end. I'm very sure, I mean, I haven't actually looked into it in case there was any detail about it, but I don't remember it being anywhere in the story about it. If that was mentioned at the beginning, then yeah, okay, the viable plot point, but it makes it as if the game technically never existed. It's kind of like Sonic 06, where, you know, at the very end they blow out the candle and then poof, everything's better, nothing happened. They hated the game so much. Anyway, but that's a story for another day. We're talking about a different blue hero. I mean, I understand, like, alright, let's not talk about that aspect, let's talk about the actual Catalog's story. It's all about the underground ruins and how it's affecting the island, which really isn't that populated and really isn't that bad, so I don't know why we should care about why we should care about a downtown area with so little people with cars that just go in a square. I know I've complained about that a lot, but anyway. The story about the Reaverbots and them activating and then Juno coming out of nowhere. I mean, Mega Man Juno, I understand he's the quote-unquote caretaker of the island and he's supposed to keep the population down, but that also comes out of nowhere, and it's really weird, to me at least. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that I don't even know. I mean, I'm a big fan of this game, but I don't know everything, and I'm fine with that. I like the way I think about it, because even with its flaws, I still love it. And I'm sure some of the questions are answered in Mega Man Legends 2, but we'll get to that. So I guess I should talk about the gameplay, because, you know, the story is so awesome. I know the controls are clunky, I know it's not the best thing. I mean, it is the first Mega Man game that is brought to 3D platforming. And in my opinion, they did a decent job. I mean, think of, at the time, the games that were 3D platformers. I mean, the one off the top of my head I could think of is Mario. Like, I'm thinking of N64 games, and I never really had N64 games. You had Mario, you had Zelda. I mean, those games were, I mean, great. But they didn't have something Mega Man had. The Mega Buster. It was a point and shoot game, and yeah, it's kind of hard to make a game where you don't make physical contact with an enemy except with a couple weapons, and I'll admit I never used the Z Saber, or it's not the Z Saber, it's the regular saber. I don't use like the close combat stuff. Mega Man is a long distance shooter. He shoots people from a distance, and that's basically what they had to get across. And they knew that some enemies, to make it feel three-dimensional, we were going to need a lock-on system. I'm very sure from what I've seen in Mega Man Legends 2, they improved the lock-on system dramatically. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't... Alright, I'll put it down here. I have not played Mega Man Legends 2. I never owned it as a kid. It was just one of those games that I never got. And, you know, I wasn't one of those kids that owned every single game. I had basically games that were given to me. I didn't actually ask for games, I just got them. And Mega Man Legends 2 was just never on my list, because even when I was a kid, like, I didn't beat Mega Man Legends until I was... Oh god, until I was 10, and I got it when I was 7, maybe? Something around that. But trust me, if I had a chance to play Mega Man Legends 2, I would, and I would definitely do a Let's Play on it. Trust me, I've tried to do ROMs of it, and for some reason it just doesn't play on my computer. So, on top of the gameplay, I guess I should talk about, you know, the customization of this game. Since it is a 3D platformer, a lot of the game style, it kind of adapted to meet what it was. It turned into an adventure game. You didn't have to stay in one spot. I did all the mini games and stuff at the end. You could do a lot of that stuff throughout the story. You don't have to stick with the go from one refractor to another, to the next subgate, to the next subgate, and then beat the game. You can go to a subgate, and then you can power up yourself with by going on the submission to save Ira. Not that that would help, you would need a bunch of stuff, but you get my point. You could do all this stuff throughout the game in different order, and I think that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to make not only the gameplay of Mega Man 3-dimensional, but just the way you can play as Mega Man. And I mean, it was lacking in a lot of spots, and I understand that, but they did a good job. I understand why the game is rated low. Like, it's considered not that good of a Mega Man game, but a lot of people like it, and that's why a lot of people want to see a Mega Man Legends 3. I'm one of those people, trust me. So, I guess one of the things I could talk about now is the actual graphics. PlayStation graphics, but there are a lot of problems with it. You can clip into buildings, sometimes the floor doesn't angle with your feet. You see that a lot during the gameplay. I'm actually blaming a lot of it on the PlayStation 3. I don't have, like, I have a PlayStation 2, but I don't want to trust it and it can't connect to my capture card properly. The graphics are pretty good for what they were. And I mean, PlayStation and sprites and modeling, I mean, it was hard back then. I mean, yeah, there were some games that pulled it off nicely. And this game did a lot. I mean, yeah, they could have fixed a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of graphical glitches even I remember as a kid, but I'm getting out of hand because it's a PlayStation game. You can't really blame too much of the graphics. I mean, I understand their standards and stuff like that, but it could always be worse. So that's it for Mega Man Legends final thoughts. And like I said, I would love to do Mega Man Legends 2. I always wanted to play it, but there is the problem of, for some reason, it doesn't work on my computer as a ROM, and I don't own the CD. And from what I've seen, they're pretty expensive for a PlayStation game. I think I remember it being $120? I could be wrong. I've been known to be wrong. So, for now, I'm just gonna hold off and say Mega Man Legends 2 just won't happen until I can make it happen. But, who's to say it won't? So, that's it for Mega Man Legends. Be prepared for my next LP. This is the Rock Shifter, and I'll see you guys next LP.